Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to be showing you how I set up my bullet journal for September, and the last few themes have been very food and floral related, so I thought I would do something a little different this month and do a theme with some dancer illustrations. So if you want to see how that all comes together, then keep on watching. The supplies I'll be using today are some Tombow dual brush pens. You can also use any other type of marker or brush tipped pen that you want. I also have some metallic pens here. So I have a gel pen that's silver, but I also have these two deco color metallic pens. I'll leave links to all of these down below, but I really like these because they're very opaque and metallic. These are going to add really nice accents to the illustrations, but if you don't have anything like this, you can also just use a white gel pen. And then of course I'm going to have a fine liner pen, and this one is from Uniball. Then I've also picked out some washi tape from my collection. Since this month is a little bit of a more girly theme, I picked out all of my washi tapes that kind of get neglected, like my lacy and floral ones, and I also picked out a couple of gold ones as well to match with those metallic accents that we're going to add. To start off my cover page, I'm going to use a dark teal Tombow pen and just do a quick brush script to write out September, and I'm doing this at a slight diagonal. Then I took a lighter teal color and I just created drop shadows for this brush lettering. And then I took my silver gel pen and I'm just going to create some accents in the thick strokes of this lettering. Next, I'm going to get started on these dancer illustrations, and these are going to be very basic shapes. I didn't want to do anything too complicated, just so that it's more approachable and also a lot quicker. So as you can see here, I'm kind of just doing almost like a sketch-like appearance of these dancers. You definitely don't have to fill in every shape of these figures. You kind of want almost like a shadow or an illusion of these figures. And these are actually inspired by an Instagram account that I follow called Paper Fashion, and she calls these figures that she is iconic for shadow dancers. So that's really the perfect name, and that's what you're trying to go for here. You're trying to go for the shadow of a dancer, and you don't have to worry about doing too much detail work because the real beauty of these illustrations is in this sketchy abstractness of these dancers. So I'm going to be drawing 3 of these figures on this cover page just right next to each other. So I have a little series of these shadow dancers, and I'm using a few different colors with my Tombow pens, but I'm sticking sort of with this color scheme of teals and pinks just so that everything is tied together nicely. After I finish drawing these dancers with my colored markers, I'm going in with my metallic markers here and adding some accents. So for some of them, I'll be adding these polka dots, and again, going with this very loose style, I'm not only drawing polka dots directly onto the dress, but I'm also just adding it in the general area of this dancer. And then for the other one, I did some stripy accents, and then on the right side, I actually added a little moon shape that I thought would complement this theme. You can see how really opaque these metallic markers are, and I really love them. You'll see that they actually do bleed a little bit on the other side. I think it's because they're alcohol based, so all alcohol based markers will bleed, so just keep that in mind. I don't mind too much, and if you have a journal with thicker pages, then that definitely won't be as bad either. My journal has slightly thin pages, so I do see some of those alcohol marks on the other side. I've gone ahead and drawn a little mini calendar underneath my September title, and in a little bit of that blank space I'm adding some washi tape. I really love this lacy shaped washi tape that I got as a present a while back. I think it's really pretty and different from most washi tapes you find, and I also added a strip of gold striped washi to bring in those metallic notes. And then I'm just scattering some star shapes around the page as well with the gold and silver metallic markers. As I turn the page here, you can see a little bit of that shadow of the moon shape and other places where I've used the metallic marker. And like I said, I don't really mind because I'm going to be covering up this page with more artwork anyway, so once you have that all down, it doesn't really matter too much to me, but just keep that in mind if that is something that's important to you. So I started off this page with doing the same brush script header at the top, this time in my pink colors. And again, I did a drop shadow in that lighter shade of pink. And then I'm going to be doing my full spread calendar, just so I have more space to write in appointments and dates and things like that. And for all of the layouts for this month, I really want to keep things as open as possible because I think that really complements these illustrations and how they're very fluid and nothing is too perfect or gridded in. So that's really the style that I went with when I'm drawing my calendar. And I just have these open lines for the dates, but I don't have a box around the entire calendar, just to keep things as open concept as possible. On the right side, I drew a shadow dancer to go above this notes section. And then along the bottom, I'm going to be drawing 5 little figures. And these figures are going to be all different, so I just played around with different dresses and positions for the dancers. This is just an area for you to kind of experiment. I did mess some of them up a little bit and I don't love how they all came out, but I think the main thing that I took away from this is to really try and keep your strokes light and as free as possible, because when you start to overthink things and overwork it, that's really where things go wrong. So just a little tip for you as you're doing this. And again, I'm going to be adding some accents with my gel pen. This time I'm just sticking with the silver gel pen because I don't want every page to bleed through. And also, since these are smaller illustrations, I thought that one would work better with the finer tip. Then to finish it off, I'm going to add some more washi tape. I have another one of these shaped washi tapes, so I added that, and then also some at the top of the page. I skipped a couple of spreads because I do have some travel plans for this month and I'm doing some full page spreads to plan those out. And if you want to see those spreads, I'm going to be posting a video later on this month. So make sure you're subscribed with your notification bell on to see those later on. But for now, I'm going to move on to the weekly spreads for the month. I'm starting off this first spread with a very, very large illustration of a dancer here. This is going to take up the entire height of the page. I actually really love the size of this. I thought it would be too much, but something about the larger size made it a lot more approachable to draw, and I was able to get the proportions just right, and I added some accents with my silver pen. Then at the top of the page, I added a little mini calendar, and then I again did an open concept for my date headers, just using my teal brush pen to create these stripes along the page. I did 7 of them, 1 for each day of the week, and then I'm left with an empty space on the right page as well, which I left open for notes. And then I drew another little moon accent on the right side and added some of that lacy washi tape. Then I'm just going to simply fill in the dates inside these header bars that I had drawn out. And that is a quick, easy first layout. So moving on to the next one. This is going to be one of the easiest layouts for the month. I'm just writing my days of the week in script and just stretching out the very last letter to create a line that also acts as a border for the day. And then taking a light colored pen, I'm writing in the dates behind those days of the week. And then at the spot on the bottom right, I'm adding some sections for my to-do list and my meals, and then adding just one little illustration of a shadow dancer. I really like how fast and easy this page is. Definitely a good option if you just like very simple, quick layouts that have just a little element of illustration. My third layout is going to be an option with no illustration at all. I'm just using washi tape. This is great for those of you guys who don't want to draw or just need something quick. So I pulled out some of those washi tapes that I had set aside in the beginning. They're already in a very specific style and color scheme, so all I have to do is pick a few of those out and add some striped borders along each side of my page. I really like picking washi tapes that are similar to my theme for each month, but aren't completely related all the time, so sometimes it's just nice to switch things out throughout the month and have something different to look at. So washi tape is always something I turn to, and I try to have at least one weekly layout per month that uses washi tape, because I know we all have some big collections of washi tape anyway. Then another simple letter style for the days of the week, just drawing in a little circle for the dates, and I'm going to add in the numbers with my silver gel pen. I also found some of this glittery ribbon at the very end that I wanted to add, and I'll be adding this to another layout as well. I just love how sparkly it is. I mean, you guys can see that on camera, right? It is so gorgeous. So then on to the last weekly layout. This has been one of my favorites lately. I really love drawing long columns because they're really good for when you have a very long to-do list. So I drew out 2 boxes. One is slightly wider than the other because that one's going to have 4 columns and the other side will have 3. And then I drew little bars at the top that I'm going to color in with black and use my silver gel pen later to write in the dates. I have a little open-ended area on the right side to write in my sections for my to-do lists and meal planning, and then I drew in some drop shadows for the boxes to bring in that pink color, and I'm just adding dividers for the columns now. And then I had left space at the top of each of these headers to do little illustrations. And for these, I'm using a colored pencil instead of a marker just so that I can get more of that sketchy feel that I've been talking about, and I just wanted to try something a little different and see how I liked it. So I brought in this dark blue colored pencil and I'm just very lightly sketching in these dancer illustrations, not using a ton of pressure, but just making these sketchy marks. And later on I'm going to go in with my fine liner and just add a little more darkness to these sketches since the colored pencil is a lot lighter than the markers. And I just thought it wasn't standing out enough, so I added some accent marks, and I think that really made the illustrations stand out. I did want to leave the lightness of the colored pencils for most of the illustration because, again, I think that just lends to the sketchy effect of it. And this is another area for you to just play with different poses for your dancers and different dresses and all that kind of stuff. So it's a fun place to experiment and just do little illustrations with this theme. I'm just finishing off the page here by filling in the headers and the dates in the boxes and running a strip of lace washi along the bottom of the page, and that is it. Now for some extra little monthly layouts. As I mentioned, I have a few travel plans planned for this week, so I didn't want to do anything that was going to be too intensive or that you have to do every day, like a habit tracker or a gratitude list like I often do. So I wanted to do something that was kind of in that same idea but would be more flexible if you don't have time to do something every single day. My idea for that is doing a highs and lows page. I'm just starting off decorating the top of this page so it's a little prettier, again adding in that glitter ribbon because I just really love how sparkly it is. And this is something that I used to do when I would meet up with my friends every week, and we would just go over the best thing that happened to you that week and also the worst thing, I guess, that happened, and that's why it's called highs and lows. I think this is just a really nice way to recap your week and just give a quick little look inside how your week was and some good and bad things, because life is all about balance, and it's just nice to think about a little bit of positive but also address anything negative that you might be thinking of as well. I just did one for each week of September, and I'll fill these in as the month goes on. Then on the other side of the page, I'm doing a little space for me to write in my favorite things for the month. So this is going to be blank for now, but I'll fill it out towards the end of the month and I'll post it on Instagram, so make sure you follow me there if you want to see what this page looks like by the end. I usually will illustrate this or do some sort of like lettering to fill up the entire page, and I always really love how this comes out, and again, it's a great summary of your month just to remember the things that you are doing all month long. Alright, so those are all my layouts for this month, and I'll do a quick little flip through for you to see everything all together. If you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and make sure you're subscribed for more videos like this, and leave me a comment and let me know which of these layouts was your favorite or maybe what you're drawing in your bullet journal this month. Thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.